If you hired somebody to manage your Instagram DMs, but the team is not getting the result you want, do not immediately assume you hired the wrong person. I'm Ja, I'm the co-founder of Mochi, and we have worked with over more than 250 business owners, and we keep seeing the same thing. Founders blaming the person inside of the inbox that they hired, when the real problem is often how the team is being managed. Recently, we invited Alexa into the Mochi community for a private coaching call, and Alexa is known as the #1 setter and closer trainer in Serbia. He has trained over 8,000 people, and they all learned from him how to handle the Instagram DMs, and he has placed students at personal brands including Charlie Johnson, Justin Saunders, and many more. And on that call, he shared 5 of the biggest mistakes he sees businesses make after they hire somebody to manage their Instagram inbox. So I am going to show you each mistake, why it happened, and exactly how to fix it. Mistake number 1, managing every sentence instead of the end result. So the first mistake is micromanaging every message your team is sending out. You or your manager open a conversation and you tell your team to stop using a certain emoji, stop using the word bro in every sentence, and don't send too many long messages to the lead. Instead of listening to the lead and continuing the conversation, you are mentally checking 20 different rules before sending one normal message. So what happens? Your team is going to be slower, the replies are going to be less natural, and the confidence is going to drop. And eventually, they stop thinking for themselves because they are waiting for the manager to tell them the correct answer every single time. You or your manager become the bottleneck because you're trying to inspect thousands of messages every single day. So how can you solve it? The team just needs to understand your offer, how you qualify somebody, and what they can promise, what they cannot promise, and what a good conversation looks like. But those are guardrails. They're not a word-for-word instruction manual for every possible DM. The fix is to manage patterns and outcomes, like is the lead being qualified correctly? Are follow-ups happening? Are qualified people booking a call? And this is exactly how I do it inside of Mochi. I look for the entire pipeline, as you can see here. For example, how many DMs came in? How many of them were active? How many of them were qualified? And how many of them actually booked a call. I can see exactly what happened yesterday, or I can see what happened last week, and I can analyze exactly what the core problem is in my business. So I'll give you one example. If I see that we have a lot of qualified leads, but not many booked calls, then I probably need to jump in and analyze what the team is sending to all the qualified leads, and I will improve that specific section. The data is pointing me towards the problem, and then I can open the relevant conversations and coach the person. Mistake number 2, hiring more people before there is enough opportunity. So the second mistake is hiring too many people because you want your Instagram inbox covered 24 hours a day. So Alexa's benchmark is that a strong setter can handle around 150 conversations a day. An average setter maybe 100 conversations a day. And imagine your business is receiving 120 new conversations a day. So one focused person may be able to handle that volume, but he can't work 24 hours a day. So the solution is hire 3 people to cover 8-hour shifts, and now you have to divide 120 conversations between 3 people. Each person will get roughly 40 DMs. And if the team is paid partly through commissions and nobody receives enough conversations, well, they can't book enough calls or make enough money. The strongest person will eventually leave for another business where there's more opportunity to make more money. So the fix is to staff around real conversation volume and the hours that matter the most. Look at when people are actually entering your DMs and how you are performing in that specific time slot. If you see that a person can't even handle it in his current 8-hour shift, then you should consider adding somebody. But don't just hire new people because you want to cover 24-hour shifts. Inside of Mochi, I can look specifically at how many DMs I received at specific hour and also how active my team is. If I see that I received a lot of messages but I didn't send out enough messages at a certain time, then I know I should add more people in my team. Mistake number 3, asking your DM team to fix weak marketing. The third mistake is blaming the person that is handling your DMs for not converting the leads who were not really interested in the first place. You can generate a lot of messages with a broad call to action. So if I post, hey, send me a DM and I'll send you $10, my inbox will probably fill up, but it doesn't mean those are qualified buyers. Your content has a specific job before your team is going to close the deal. It should make people aware of the problem, explain your point of view, explain your offer, build trust, and attract the right person. The setter continues the conversation, asks questions, sees whether the person is a right fit, follows up with them, and moves the person to a call. But if your team constantly needs to explain who you are, what you sell, why the problem matters, then your marketing is asking them to do too much. So if many people enter your DMs, but almost nobody becomes qualified, then you should inspect your content and how you warm people up before they enter the inbox in the first place. This is how I use Mochi with content attribution. Useful. I can open a story or a post and see exactly how many conversations conversations it got, how many people became qualified, and how many people became customers, or how many people booked a call from that specific post. If a post created a lot of messages but almost no qualified people, then I know the content should have been stronger. Marketing creates the opportunity, and the setter moves the right person towards the call, and the closer will close the deal. Don't ask one person to perform all 3 jobs. Mistake number 4, making the team report the work twice. So mistake number 4 is making the person spend more time reporting the work than actually working. At the end of the day, they have to fill out end of day reports, multiple forms, and then they have to update the CRM. Then they have to update all the tags. They have to update a follow-up sheet. Then they have to make notes for the closer. And after that, the manager spends more time checking if all the data is correct or not. So your business is paying for admin. Imagine 4 people each spend 45 minutes a day doing this. So in a 5-day work week, that is 15 hours spent reporting the work instead of making money. The fix is not to remove accountability. The fix is to capture activity while the work is happening. So the person managing the DMs should be able to open one place and immediately know who needs my attention, what stage are the leads in, what do I need to do next? And this is what we do inside of Mochi. AI tags will organize all of the leads for you. Conversation summaries will show you and your team exactly all of the important context that you need for that specific lead. And then scheduled follow-ups will help your team to automatically schedule all of the follow-ups instead of remembering it or filling out a CRM on the side. Mistake number 5, treating response time as the main result. The 5th mistake is expecting every message to receive a reply in under 5 minutes, 24 hours a day. Response time is important, but when speed becomes the main KPI, then you train your team to work faster and faster and faster. So to stay under 5 minutes, the setter has to stop reading all the conversations and they just copy paste the same messages. Therefore, the replies become fast and it also becomes generic. Imagine you have 2 types of leads in the inbox. The first person sent a fire emoji 1 minute ago. The second person answered your questions, said that they were interested, and asked for more information to join your program. Who deserves attention first? The qualified person who is ready for the next step. But what does Instagram do? Instagram will put the newest message, the fire emoji guy, at the top of your inbox. And if your team is trained to only reply fast to people, then the person that just commented now will probably get the first response while a qualified person is still waiting. Speed is not the same as priority, and this is where most teams lose a lot of money. Inside Mochi, the inbox can be organized around priority instead of who just came in. The team can start messaging the leads that are most important. You can track response time, but do not worship it. It's not the most important thing. The goal is not to answer the biggest number of messages in the shortest amount of time. The goal is to make sure you make as much money as possible from your DMs. You have now seen 5 different mistakes, but they all come from the same operating problem. A good system will make the job easier for the person who's working inside of the inbox. It also gives the founder or the manager enough visibility to find a real problem without reading through thousands of DMs. And that is exactly why we have built Mochi. And if you're interested to try it out, there's a 14-day free trial in the link in the description right now.